Constructive Developments from Leaders and Governments Around the World, Part 2 of 5.
The United Nations has called for reduced animal people meat consumption in multiple prominent reports. In 2020, the United Nations Environment Programme, or UNEP, recommended crucial lifestyle changes to avoid a devastating warming of more than 3 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, stating, "For food, a shift towards vegetarian or vegan diets offers substantial potential for carbon mitigation." Measures were also suggested, including taxes on unhealthy animal people meat foods, subsidies to help people buy more fruit and vegetables, and increasing vegetarian meals in cafeterias and other food outlets.
In 2021, another UNEP report made it clear that cutting methane emissions is crucial and urged a reduction in animal people meat and dairy consumption to mitigate human-caused methane emissions. It advises a 45% decrease in methane output by 2030 by focusing on fossil fuel use, landfills and wastewater, and animal people livestock raising to limit the global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Importantly, behavioral changes, including adopting a plant-based diet, could reduce 65 to 80 million metric tons of methane emissions per year during the next few decades.
Meanwhile, a joint paper by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, and the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, or IPBES, asserted that individuals, especially those in rich countries, should shift their diets toward more plant-based, as animal people products such as ruminant people meat and dairy are major sources of greenhouse gas emissions.
Then, in April 2022, a critical report by the UN IPCC warned that human-caused methane emissions, most of which are produced by the animal people livestock industry, must be reduced by 33% by 2030 to secure a livable future. The report advised a shift to diets with a higher share of plant protein. A lead author of the report, Dr. Jim Skia, said,
"It's now or never if we want to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius."
In Finland, the Helsinki City Council has stopped serving animal people meat at seminars, staff meetings, receptions, and other events to reduce its carbon footprint.
The government of Denmark will set aside 675 million Danish kroner, or $90 million to advance plant-based foods. The funding will be used to provide support for plant-based product development, businesses, sales, exports, and education. Denmark will also set aside an additional 580 million Danish kroner, or $78 million to pay bonuses to farmers who grow plant-based protein crops for human consumption.
The policy manager at the Good Food Institute Europe, Acacia Smith, stated, "With this announcement, Denmark has recognized the huge potential of sustainable proteins to drive down agricultural emissions and established itself as Europe's biggest public investor in plant-based innovation." For the first time, Denmark's official dietary advice encourages Danes to eat more legumes, more vegetables, and less animal people meat. Minister of Climate, His Excellency Dan Jørgensen, said,
"We need the green transition to reach our plates, and therefore I'm really happy that many also want to eat more climate-friendly."
The 77th Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, His Excellency Boris Johnson, and Tanya Steele, vegetarian, the Chief Executive of the World Wildlife Fund UK office, or WWF UK, highlighted cruelty-free food alternatives that will aid in reducing animal people meat consumption to help the climate.
I think in the future we will move away from eating as much. I think that already science is developing meat substitutes that are basically engineered in the lab, aren't they? That are very like meat, and you won't be able to tell the difference between a bioengineered hamburger and I'm serious, and a real hamburger, and that will be the future. Very, very soon. I mean, it's already here, I think.
It is, definitely. And I think there's also things we could do to mix up our meals, maybe a bit less meat and put some beans in. It could still be really tasty, yes, but great for our climate.
The government-commissioned National Food Strategy Independent Review in the UK advised that the country's animal people meat consumption must be reduced to reach health and climate change goals.
etc. These are just some of the constructive developments from world leaders and governments that are helping our world advance to a safer, healthier, more peaceful, and prosperous future. May heaven bless all involved with ever more wisdom and courage to take further righteous policy actions.
Suppose you promote organic plant-based food. No, whoever, the government, whoever decided to approve this plant-based diet solution, just approve it only. He will earn, my God, thousands of zillions of spiritual merit points. And we need a lot of points to go back to heaven. Whoever approves this even, just one time, enough for him to fly to heaven already. After he leaves this world, he doesn't even need any more pilgrimage, doesn't even need to do anything else even. Whoever approved of that, and whoever makes sure that it's carried out, will obtain the same spiritual merit points that heaven will bestow upon them.
For more details and free downloads, please visit suprememastertv.com/scrolls.